are native to western New York. In other words, they live right around here, and I'll bet you have at least 2 of these kinds right in the woods here. So you have to listen tonight, and I'll let you know what they sound like too, so you can hear them. The first little owl I'm going to bring out is actually one of the most common owls that we have around here. Oh, he's sleeping in there. Where are you going? No, you can't fly away. There you go. This is one of the most common owls that we have around here. This is not a baby owl. This is full grown. This is as big as he gets. This is what we call a screech owl.
Screech owl.
Now the screech owl is not the smallest of the owls around here. The screech owl is the second smallest owl around here.
He's so cute and big.
Oh, he won't hurt you, don't worry.
He's so cute and big.
There's a string attached to my hand, so none of the birds can get away from me, so you don't have to worry about them. Now, this guy is the second smallest. The smallest owl that we have around here is known as a saw-whet owl. If you ever hear what sounds like a squeaky wheel in the woods at night, that's the saw-whet. And there might be some around here. They like the conifers, the pine trees, and the spruce trees. No, I can't let you pet him. Now, he might try to bite you. And also, he might try to get you with those talons. Yeah, he is a wild animal still, so he can be mean, he can hurt you. Now, this little guy here, he is nocturnal. You guys know what nocturnal means? No?
He sleeps in the day and he wakes up all night.
You're right.
Ah, duże dobre, Adriano.
Nocturnal is an animal that sleeps all day long and then wakes up at nighttime, does everything they need to. So he only comes here in the winter. He's known as a snowy owl. And the snowy owl is a daytime owl. But most other owls like this guy, they're out at nighttime. So he should be sleeping right now. He'd rather be sleeping right now. He was actually sleeping in his carrier there. He was up all night doing everything he needed to in the dark.
So how did you guys get him?
So if you're out at nighttime trying to find food in the dark, how are you going to do that?
Yeah, big eyes.
Big eyes. Yeah, he's got huge... wait a minute. His eyes don't look that big, do they? No, his eyes don't look as big as they actually are. You see, we can't see the whole eye. They stick up on his head, and they're used for camouflage. When he's sitting up in a tree, look at his colors. He looks like tree bark, doesn't he? Yeah, so if he's sitting up in a tree, he looks like part of the tree. And he comes with his own branches on top of his head. So that's what those 2 things are. Hit. He hit it right in the face. It ruined his eye. The eye is still in there, but he can't see out of it anymore. And being a nighttime animal, he's nocturnal, he's out at nighttime, he needs both eyes in order to see what's going on around him. It also helps him judge distance. If you walk around, don't do that at camp here, you'll trip on things. But if you walk around with one eye closed, you know, you may trip on things because you can't tell how far away they are. You're not seeing 3-dimensional, and that's his problem. If he's after some food, maybe he sees a mouse and he goes flying down after that mouse, sometimes he grabs too soon or he grabs too late. He can't tell how far. Not a spotted owl, but you know what? You're close. You know, if you've ever heard of a spotted owl used to make the news all the time because it's an endangered species. In other words, there's not many left. And the spotted owl lives out west. They live west of the Mississippi River. And they are losing their habitat where they live. People are cutting down the old trees, the really old trees. A habitat is where an animal lives, like a field habitat or the woods habitat around here. Certain animals like to live in certain places. And people were cutting down the really old trees out west, and that's where the spotted owl like to live. Well, this is not a spotted owl. This here is a barred owl, but they're really closely related to the spotted owl. The reason we call him a barred owl is if you look at his belly and his chest, he has the stripes or the bars, like the bars of a cage, and that's why he got the name barred owl. Now the barred owl is one you might hear in these woods also. And the reason is because this guy likes to live in deep woods and in swampy areas. And I know you have the creek running right through the woods back here, so they like it where it's wet. And these are wet, moist woods. So that's a great place for the barred owl to live. Now, because he likes swampy areas, they eat quite a wide variety of food. He eats the typical owl food like mice, rabbits, squirrels, chipmunks, but he's also eating things like crayfish, frogs, toads, snakes. Sometimes he goes fishing. He has a little fishing pole in his back pocket. Now he goes fishing by pouncing on the fish. He waits at the edge of the pond, and when a fish comes close, he will just pounce on it and grab it with those talons. So he eats a lot of different foods, not just the typical owl foods. And that's because of where he lives. Now, this guy here, he's just like the other owl. He's nocturnal. He has the big eyes. He has the great hearing. Did you get to touch it, or did I pass you? There you go. Really soft feathers on these birds.
Is it the same Fluffy?
Yeah, it feels just like him. This is the wing off of the same type of owl.
Oh my god.
Okay, it's not his wing. He still has both his wings. We're going to talk about what happened to him in a second.
Woo! Oh! André, ne křičet, ne křičet.
Oh my gosh! That really says that thing! Oh my god!
Ona co dávají?
That really
You're backwards. You're backwards.
I'll tell you about
There we go. Okay.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I knew he wouldn't behave. This here is the largest type of owl that we have here in Western New York. This here is what we call the great horned owl. He's the one that does that typical hooting that we associate with owls. Now, the great horned owl gets his name for two reasons. First of all, great means large, and he's a large bird. He's the largest in this area. The horned part comes from the horns, which we already learned are the ear tufts. So this guy has those horns on top of his head like the screech owl did. Now once again, those horns are for communication and camouflage. Okay, I talked about the screech owl, how they blended in with the trees. Same with this guy. If you look at his colors, he looks like tree bark, and he has those branches on top of his head. So those are the ear tufts. He also uses the ear tufts for communication, for talking to others. You see, when he's scared, like right now, okay, right now he is scared because he's out here with all you predators. I know, you guys are friendly. He doesn't know that. He's used to being the top guy in the woods at nighttime. And all of a sudden, he's in front of larger animals than him. So he's a little scared right now, which is why he's crunched over and the ear tufts are flat on top of his head, and he's panting, and he was just hissing at me. This guy's the same way. He doesn't like to share. Now, I know it seems like that's not very nice and you should share, but it's actually good for an owl, because if he shares his space, he's sharing his food, which means that all the mice and rabbits and skunks in that field belong to him. If he lets others eat them, he's going